All right, everybody. We're here to talk to Ted Boyett today. Everyone, welcome. This Green Valley resident. He's very active in the community, and I reached out to you, Ted. The main reason is I see a lot of your positive responses and your posts on our neighbor site. And this is the Green Valley News Sahuarita Sun neighbor site, and I did a little more research on you as well, and I saw that you're a part of the Green Valley Recreation Board. And so I thought it'd be great to just feature you as our first Meet Your Neighbor guest. So I appreciate you being here. And so,
Well, thank you very much.
thank you. And so, tell everyone a little bit about what brought you to Green Valley and, what drew you in wanting to be a member of the Green Valley Recreation Board.
Well, it's a real long story, so I'll make the short version of it. Um,
Okay.
After I retired for the third time, my wife and I decided we wanted to move somewhere where it's a little bit warmer during the winter. We're out here in Rhode Island. Lived here for a while. I grew up in mostly in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and right next to Stanford University. Did my graduate work there, but then uh, after school, I worked in colleges and universities and community recreation uh, centers, and also special tax districts in California. A number of universities in Georgia, Portland, Oregon, and also here in Rhode Island, and then also a stint in Greece. So after I did that, my wife decided we wanted to move, and so we did. We went decided where we're going to live, and she wanted to go out west. Our family's out here, well, not in Arizona, but in Palo Alto, California, and throughout California and stuff. And so we decided to come out to look at some of the properties, and found Sahuarita Springs with a pool there. My wife loves to swim, and kind of fell in love with it. Put an offer in on a home. Um, Once we got here, one of the things that I'm a firm believer in uh, is paying HOA dues. And I figured, well, if I'm going to be paying dues, I ought to have a say in what's going on. So I joined the
Mm-hmm.
HOA board. Normally in my life, I've tried to stay a little bit in the background in politics. I was a political science major for a couple of years, and
Okay.
I decided that's kind of a nasty business. Um, Not really, but anyway, so uh, got there, and then as I was noticing what was going on with Green Valley Recreation, the thing I noticed that they were doing a great job. The staff was wonderful. The programs. I looked over the history, and it had really grown tremendously, and was doing quite well. But there was really a negative. There was really kind of a negative aura around the organization, which really kind of surprised me because of the quality. I've been in recreation for over 50 years, and it just really surprised me. And so I got interested and decided, well, the best way that I can make a change is to be positive, and to run for the board. And so I did, and hopefully, as I post on your site and when I'm talking with people, it exudes positivity, because we are a wonderful organization. And does it have problems from time to time? Yes, I don't know anyone, any organization or any person, other than one, who's perfect. So
Okay, great. And so you're talking to us from Rhode Island. Are you in Westerly right now, Ted?
yes, I'm currently in our home in Westerly. It's a beautiful little hamlet. That's we're about uh, less than 3 miles from the beach. Pretty much, we get there in about 5 minutes to about 4 or 5 really pristine beaches.
Very
And
cool.
my wife really loves the ocean, despite the fact that when we were out in Hawaii about 19 years ago, she had a little encounter with a shark, and lost part of her buttocks, and her fingers were all damaged up. But despite that, she loves the ocean and loves going out in the water, and so we tend to do that. And that's the one drawback that Green Valley has is there's not an ocean right next door.
No, it's a
No.
little ways away, and I assume I was going to ask you, so I'll just ask you now. What's the nearest body of water that you? Because I know that we'll talk about it right now. I guess you're very much into scuba diving. You're a scuba diving instructor. So what's the nearest body of water where you can scuba dive near Green Valley?
Um, well, there are a number of lakes, and I kind of enjoyed that when I was learning to dive. I did a lot of lakes and stuff, but there are a number of small lakes there, a couple of them from what I understand. I haven't dove any of them in Green Valley, but California, when I was not growing up, but after I took my first job, I became a scuba diver, and I've dove all along the California coast, and there are a lot of neat areas there, and then in Mexico, uh,
Hmm.
right down there, just a few hours away. Right now, I don't know if I want to cross the border, if I'd be able to get back into Arizona or not.
Understandable. Yeah.
you know, but
Okay.
I, but scuba's been a really for almost 50 years has been a real thing. I've been an instructor for about 35 years. I just got through re-upping again. I teach now. I teach basically volunteer for like church groups and things like that, along with first aid and CPR for the Red Cross and teaching that. Uh, and I just, it's just really a really exciting experience just to be underwater. And some people say space is the last frontier. Well, I figure that we haven't finished exploring underwater or even just the United States itself. There's so many wonderful, beautiful sites that you can visit. Nice people.
So let's get back to a little bit about. I know that you're the president of the Westerly branch of the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints, and can you talk a little bit about your experience there and your experience with the community right now in Westerly and with the church?
Okay. Well, I really appreciate that opportunity. Yeah, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is is basically we consider it the restored church. Uh, it uh, it was it's Jesus Christ's church, and his church was removed from the earth through disbelief, and through revelation, it's been brought back, and so that's the some of the basic tenet there is that we believe in the church as it was, as it is now, and as it will be in the future. As the president of the small branch that I have of about 130 members, and I don't have it. I just am asked to kind of help shepherd it. Um, we meet in a small building in a shopping center, and I kind of oversee, especially the youth programs, which is really dear to my heart. I love teaching all the years I taught at colleges and universities and also things. I was decided to run for the GVR board because I was a little bit I was a little bit tired of hearing all the negativity of such a great organization. Um, and they were doing a wonderful job, but they seemed to be getting bad press. And I'm not blaming GVR News because they report what they hear and what they see, but there are a lot of people who had their own reasons for being unhappy. Um, and so I decided to run to see if I could help out by adding just a little positive notes to things and a little logic to some of the stuff that was going on. Um, and what really kind of surprised me is in the beginning, it takes a little time to get to understand how other people think and how they speak, the words they use. And a lot of times, with a lot of individuals, that's looked at as um, controversy. I like good civil debate or discussions because that's where you get to learn what's really on the other person's mind. You get to learn other options, possibly better options than what you really had, and you're able to really make ends meet much better if you do that.
Yeah, and I think that's why you fit in so well with what Neighbor's trying to do, because we're trying to give a platform to people like you to talk about issues civilly and have discussions about their interest or anything they want to talk about. And I appreciate that positivity you bring on Neighbor and to Green Valley, because you'll see some other websites that do a similar thing to Neighbor out there, and there's a lot of negativity and arguing on those sites. And we're about what you talk about is, getting users' input on how to make the website better and what they would like to see on the website, and seeing the other viewpoints without having these breakdowns in communication. So I appreciate that, Ted, and I'm sure everyone does on Neighbor.
Yeah, Kevin,
I wanted to. Sorry, continue.
Kevin, I appreciate Neighbor, and I appreciate you and you having this opportunity to spotlight different people, and I think that's going to be real enjoyable for everyone in Green Valley. You need to communicate. I used to use Commander Longfellow. He's the founder of the American Red Cross Life Saving Corps, and he teach people how to teach life saving and stuff. This is many years ago, and he would say. Um, Entertain them hugely while educating them mildly. And it's a really important thing for us to understand is sometimes we're so interested in getting our point of view across, we don't take the time to understand what their point of view is, and we don't realize we got to capture them at a place that they're comfortable and then move them off their point, or maybe move ourselves off our point because they have a better solution. So it's a matter of understanding that there's more than one way of skinning a cat, as they say.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at resolving any kind of conflict. You got to see where the other person is coming from, get on that level. So yeah, it's a great way to
Right.
look at it. I did want to touch on. I know your 50th anniversary is coming up. I think in
Ah,
November, and so congratulations on that. I wanted to mention
thank you.
that because I know you talked to me about your wife being such a big part of your life. So I don't know if you wanted to just talk a little bit about what's so special about this big moment coming up, 50 years. Any memory or anything that comes to mind that you'd like to mention about your 50th anniversary?
Whoa. I don't think you have time for my wife is central. Uh, she and Jesus Christ are central to my life, along with my family. Family is all important. Um, we had a good time as youngsters. We met uh, basically, I guess, really the first time was when I was working at the swimming pools in Palo Alto. I was a locker room attendant, and she was the female locker room attendant. And that's where we met. And we didn't start dating then, but when I was a senior in high school, we dated. I remember going with her to an aquacade at the high school. And I can remember going off to college at University of Nevada. And one day she drove me up to the airport, and I was going standby, and she was in her little Cortina. And we walked up to the desk and to check in, and she went back to the car to leave to go home. And I found out this is San Francisco Airport, which is pretty big, and found out that I wasn't going to be able to get on the plane because of standby. So I ran quickly around a different way back to the little Cortina, and I put a note on the windshield, uh, and it said, "You'll see me before you know it. Think what love can do." And I snuck into the car because I had a key into the back seat down below, and she came back, and it was kind of a nice surprise.
About I've seen some of your posts and everything you've done on Neighbor. Do you have anything you would say that we could change on Neighbor that you would like more? Or, and in that same light, what do you like the best about our Neighbor website?
Well, I think you kind of encapsulated the things I like the best is you're trying to develop an atmosphere of community, of well, the name implies it, neighbor. I think also that neighbor is a spot where the people can voice their opinions and not feel threatened with censorship, which I think is also very important. I guess, free speech advocate. I'm a child of the '60s. We see everything that's going on everywhere now, and we kind of think it's, gosh, what's going on? Is Armageddon here? I don't think so, because I was a student of history. Like I said, the first 2 years of college, history and political science were my thing, and I really loved it. My dad was a politician for quite a while and was head of the Southern California Democratic Party. And I take a look back in history and I say, well, gosh, let's go back a little bit and see what's going on. Let's take a look. We had a civil war, didn't we? And we went back. Well, let's go back a little further. And there were the Crusades, and we can go back a little further, and we can see all the inhumanity to man that's gone on before us. And now it's pretty tame. It seems rough to us, but in a way, it's pretty tame compared to what has happened in the past. And but we can do better, and we will do better.
Yeah, I just thank you so much, Ted, for doing this, to getting your insights on life in general, and the community of Green Valley. It's pretty much priceless information.